Welcome to Bullseye CO2 Review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Smith and Wesson M&P 40 made by Umarex. They do make two different models of the M&P 40. One is a blowback model and one is a non-blowback model. Blowback means the slide on the top blows back and forth, moves back and forth. This one's fixed. It's not a blowback model. So this is more like an entry-level BB gun, and so I thought I'd pick it up and see if other guys and gals are looking to get into shooting CO2 pistols. I thought maybe this might be a good choice for an entry-level gun to get started to see if you're going to like it or not. It does have some pretty good ratings on it. It's a double action trigger. It's .177 steel BBs. It doesn't shoot pellets. It has fixed sights in the front and in the rear, but the rear sight is a fiber optic sight, so it's pretty nice. It has a smooth bore barrel, has a manual safety. The barrel length is 4 1/4 inches long. The danger distance is 325 yards. Has 19 round capacity in the magazine. It's powered by a 12-gram CO2 cartridge, and the velocity is 410 feet per second, which is not bad. It feels like it's built pretty well. Like I said, all the exterior part of it, it's all plastic, but its insides are metal parts. So the sights, first off, you can look and see how nice the sights are on here. Between the white dot and the fiber optic sights, they're going to show up really well when we want to go to get an acquisition on our target. That should show up really good outside. There's only 2 switches and buttons on here. One of them is the safety. When it's in the front, it's safe. You can see there's a F and a S there, and also there's a white spot on the back of the switch when you push it forward. So now you know it's safe. When it's safe, the trigger is inactive. So you'll know right away if you have it in fire mode. The switch is in the back. There's a red paint spot in the front of it. As soon as you touch the trigger, you can tell it's got tension on it. So if you got your CO2 cartridge and your BB's in here and you hit the trigger and you feel that it's got tension on it, you need to go over there and put that thing on safe until you're ready to fire the pistol. So I thought that's a good feature. It's real easy to tell just by touching the trigger whether you're in fire or safe mode. The magazine release is right here. The magazine release works really well. It locks in place good, and it drops out nice. The magazine is all metal. It does have a little different catch on it. When I first looked at it, I thought, well, it doesn't have a catch, because most of them you pull this down, slide it into a notch, and to hold it back. Well, you just pull this down and it locks into place by itself in the bottom of the magazine. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's pretty easy to load the BBs in. It's pretty standard. Just put the slide catch all the way back, and then you can drop the BBs right in the little hole in the pistol or in the magazine. Then when you go to release your spring catch, you want to put your finger on the end of the magazines, because sometimes you release the spring, it'll push the BBs out the end. So when you go to release it, all you do is you push up on that little button right there, and that releases it and lets it go forward. See, it pushed the BB out right there, so it didn't launch it, at least, so I was able to catch that and put it right back into the pistol. So that's a thing you want to watch out for. Sometimes it'll push 3 or 4 BBs out at one time. I haven't tried it, but other magazines, when you let the switch go or the spring go, I've had them do that. So anyway, it's a metal magazine, so that's pretty durable. To get to the CO2 chamber, grab the back of the pistol grip like this and pull it backwards, and that exposes your chamber to put the CO2 cartridge in. So it's pretty easy to drop the cartridge in. Take some pellet gun oil, put a drop of pellet gun oil on the top of your cartridge. They recommend you do that every time you put a new cartridge in, because that'll lube the seal that seals this cartridge, and it'll keep it from leaking, and it'll make it last a lot longer. So you put a little CO2 oil on there and then slide it up into the chamber. And then tighten this up until you hear a little wisp of air. Sometimes you don't even hear the wisp of air, but you'll feel it all of a sudden push up in there. This is a plastic wing nut on the bottom, so you don't want to crank down on it very hard, because I would be afraid, you know, you turn this too hard, you're going to break that wing nut off of there, and then you'll have a hard time putting your cartridges in the pistol without it. So all you got to do is get it to where it's sitting flush right now, and then just probably it's like about a half a turn. You turn it, you'll feel it push it up in there, and that's it. You don't have to crank it down real hard to make it seal. Once it gets pushed up in there, it should seal off. And so then, you know, when the cartridge is empty, you just unwind the screw all the way down to the bottom, and then you can just take your finger and push on the other side of here and push the cartridge right out. So that's pretty easy to do. But before you put the handle back, when this screws all the way out, it'll hit on the bottom of the gun here. So you want to take and turn this in probably about a turn, so that way it's up out of the way, and then when you push this closed again, it won't bang against the bottom. You can't pull on this too hard and pull it off, but it's not like it's going to break it. It just snaps right back on. So if you yank this thing off of there, don't get too worried about it. You can take it and push it right back up onto there and snap it in place. So don't worry about it if it comes off. It's okay. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to take this out in the backyard and put some BBs down range and see how it hits the target, and see if this is a good choice for a beginner BB gun. Alright, let's go out in the backyard and do some blinking. Okay, I got my target set up. I got my safety glasses on, and I have my Smith and Wesson M&P 40 full of BBs and full of CO2. Let's see how it does. I'm going to shoot the first couple of rounds from about 5 yards away, see how well it hits the target at close range, and then I can kind of judge what it's going to do from the longer distance. So let me go ahead and shoot from 5 yards. Not too bad. I'm going to move it back to 10 yards. That's it. I'm out. Alright, let's see what we got. Not bad. Not bad at all. I was just out there squeezing them off. We took out most of the red in the middle. It's a pretty good shot group. I mean, the target's really not that big. You can see the size of my finger. It's all like within 3 inches. Except for a couple of low ones there. And the fiber optic sight and the white dot really look good. Really look good out in the sun. This is what it looks like firing. I got the magazine's empty. Pretty smooth trigger, actually. I'm pretty impressed. Okay, that went really well. I'm very impressed with the Smith and Wesson M&P 40 by Umarex, the non-blowback model. The trigger on it was really nice and smooth. Felt like it's shooting 410 feet per second. As soon as the BBs left the barrel, they were hitting the target, even at 30 feet. The fiber optic sights, really nice, real easy to see, easy to get your target acquisition. When when you're pointing the gun down range, it feels like you're pointing at the target. I've had some pistols where it feels like you're aiming down even when you're hitting the target. This one feels very natural. Yeah, no complaints. I got this for $40 on sale, so I think that's a great deal for $40. $60 is the list price, so maybe for $60 you could probably find something a little bit better, maybe a little more realistic. The one thing that I'm kind of leery about is this plastic wing nut on the bottom of the CO2 cartridge chamber. It didn't feel like I was going to break it when I was putting the cartridge in. It's pushed it up in there pretty easy. Didn't feel like it was flexing or anything. Just would be worried about it over time, maybe. That's the only thing I can say is bad about this. It's priced a little high at the retail cost, and they could have done something a little better with that wing nut to push the cartridge in. Other than that, if you find one on sale and you're looking to get into CO2 pistols, that's one to consider. So if you enjoyed the review, don't forget to hit subscribe and like button, and also ring that little bell, and when we put out our next videos you'll be notified. And this has been CO2 Review. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.